Hello, my name is Soraia Garcês, and I'm one of the co-authors of this communication, together with my colleague Margarida Pocinho. We are both from the Research Center for Regional Local Studies of University of Madeira, and also we are part of the Research Center for Tourism, Sustainability and Wellbeing of University of Algarve. In this communication, we will be addressing gender differences in a particular setting, which is tourism. So the title of our communication is How Understanding Psychological Gender Differences in Tourism Experiences Can Be a Way to Promote Gender Equality. So we'll start first by acknowledging some new steps in the study of tourism and particularly in the study of psychology. We are both psychologists, and at the moment our main field of study is positive psychology. And we are developing a project which is called The Wellbeing of the Madeira Tourists, where we align psychology, particularly positive psychology, with tourists. And this brings us to a new way of perceiving and understanding tourism, which authors such as Sebastian Philip called positive tourism. So with this in mind, we understand that when we go away from our daily lives, when we go to have some experience in another country, for example, in another place, even in our own country, we want to go and want to experience. And this is all about the tourism overall, how we feel in the place that we are going. This is aligned with a very kind of old but also new idea of the experience economy, where we look and we want to understand how people perceive, feel, behave, and interpret their experience. So we are applying this idea to host communities in tourism settings. So does gender influence the way women and men perceive the tourism experience? And if so, how can destinations offer products according to them while promoting equality? So this is the big question of our communication. Does gender influence how people experience themselves in the new place away from home? The question is really, do men and women, when they come here, for example, I'm from Madeira, the island of Madeira, when people come here, does being a man or being a woman leads to a different psychological and well-being experience? This is what we want to answer, or first of all, we want to look for an answer. So our first step is this basic question: are there any differences? So our aim is to explore the existence or not of gender psychological difference in tourism settings. What did we do? We collected a sample of 399 Portuguese tourists, so people with Portuguese nationality that went away, maybe on domestic tourism or even international tourism. The majority of the sample were women, and the ages range from 18 to 73 years old. We used for this study the tourism well-being scale, which is a scale that we develop that measures overall well-being and also measures 5 dimensions, which are positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, accomplishment, and even despite not being on the PPT, it acknowledges also creativity, optimism, and spirituality. Beyond this one, we got also to collect some social demographic variables, such as, for example, gender, and which was very important for this current study. What did we find with this analysis? So we found that gender differences exist, and particularly they exist where? They exist on the overall well-being variable, which means how men and women feel on the global experience in a particular setting of tourism or a destination. And what we understood with this study is that women display higher means than men. This really, in very simple terms, means that on the study, women felt better than men. Also, we found significant differences in more particular variables, such as positive emotions and accomplishment. And again, for both these variables, which was significant, women score higher than men, which means, also very simply speaking, that women felt more positive emotions, meaning more happiness, they felt good, joy, and things like that, and accomplishment, which is related to the sense of I did something, I did good. And at the end of the day, that sense that we got when we did something which was good, and we get, yeah, I'm happy that I did it. So overall, women score higher on the three. The only significant difference that occurred in this study, which was the overall well-being, positive emotions, and accomplishment. What this means? Well, what this means is that women and men have indeed different ways of perceiving their tourism experience, particularly regarding the way they experience their emotions and the way they perceive their achievements. Meaning that we must have this in consideration when policies of a certain destination are being developed. It is important to acknowledge that men and women who come visit have experience that differ. They feel different, particularly their emotions. They feel different in the way that they see their accomplishments in the place. So this is important to authorities, and not only, but for those who develop products in tourism settings to understand. So those offers are not only just for something very specific, but they should broad in that sense their offers, so their people, including women, can have a better experience, and men also can have a better experience according to who they really are and how they feel and experience this place where they are going. So we need to develop new experiences, new tourist experience that consider women but men together in their places, in their new places, and we need to understand what makes this tourism experience memorable and meaningful for both of them equally. Just on this case, we will be able to promote an experience that is for both men and women good and equal. So, to promote tourist experiences that are more fulfilling and have the potential to better women's and men's well-being, both genders' perspectives should be considered in its design. And this is very important, because if we just go for one place, we go for one perspective, the other gender will not feel so good at the end of that experience. So to promote equality, to promote gender equality in terms of experience, we must, and this study gives maybe some first glimpse of this. We need to acknowledge both genders' perspectives, so we can promote both men and women their dream and meaningful experience. And I'm going to finish this communication with a quote from the actress Emma Watson. She said that both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. Both men and women should feel free to be strong. And I think I'm adding both men and women should have the right to have an experience that is good, great, and meaningful for both of them. So with this, I'm ending, and thank you so much for listening to this communication.